if you want to be able to work on the difficult things that you need to work on every single day, you need to learn how to stop being distracted. You need to learn how to say no to the pleasureful activities, the activities that when you do them, you get a short, instant gratifications. Those things are called instant gratifications activities. And it's things like going on social media, eating the junk food, playing video games. When you do those things, you get such an increase in your dopamine levels that it's not that your dopamine levels are supposed to be at, let's say, 100. But when you do those instant gratification activities, your dopamine spikes so high to levels that are not supposed to be. They're not supposed to be at those levels because it's so high. Let's say you play video games, it spikes your dopamine to 2 to 3 times the level that you're supposed to be at. So, what do you think happens when you stop playing video games and you're at 300? You dip. And the thing with dopamine is you dip really below the baseline that you're supposed to be at. Why is that? That's because to counterbalance those peaks, because otherwise you would just play video games all day and you would never go down and you would be at like 1,000 dopamine. So to counterbalance that, when you stop playing video games, your body sends a signal like to counterbalance those levels to bring them back to normal. And it also sends a craving as well, so that you know your brain knows that it's a pleasureful activity, so your brain wants more of it, so it sends like a little bit of pain as well, so that your dopamine will dip below that baseline level that you're supposed to be, so that it forces your brain and body to seek out more of that thing, because your brain liked it so much, so it wants more of it. But if you spend all of your day, all of your weeks in doing those pleasureful instant gratification activities, you stack all those cravings and those counterbalances. They stack. So let's say that you play video games for 2 hours today, and then you go on social media for 3 hours, and you eat some really good junk food. Your levels would rise so high. Like, let's say you play video games, so they rise at 200, but then they dip below the 100 baseline, and then you eat some junk food. So they go, let's say again, at 300 because it was super good food, but then it dips even below the level that you were just at. And then you go on social media for 3 hours. So now you're at 90. It goes way up to, let's say, 400, but it goes way down as well. Now you're at 80. And if you do that every single day for a long period of time, your levels of dopamine start to get lower and lower and lower every single day. Your baseline that you're supposed to wake up with every single morning, you're supposed to wake up with 100. Suddenly, you wake up with only 90 and 80. And if you continue with your same routine every single day, you will wake up with less and less dopamine every single day. And why is it so important that you wake up with high levels of dopamine? The dopamine is responsible for you starting the hard task. So let's say that you need to start a huge project, right? Well, dopamine is used to start that project. And let's say that you have 100 dopamine and there's a project that needs 50 points of dopamine. If you wake up with 60 points and then you waste it going on social media, and then it dips below the 50 points, like your level of dopamine dips below the 50 that you're supposed to have to start the project, suddenly you don't have the required amount of dopamine to start your project. This is why when you wake up in the morning and you check your phone, you play video games, you eat the bad food like cereal, like sugary food first. When it's time to work after that, it's really hard. It's really hard. And I noticed in my life that if I need to do the hard things, like hard things in the morning, like hard project, I need to write, I need to film, whatever it is. If I don't do it first thing in the morning, I'm not able to do it. Like I will procrastinate and I will do things before. And usually, if I start going on social media, if I eat, if I watch videos, if anything, I will be less and less inclined to do it. Like it will be harder for me to start doing the thing that I need to do because I spike my levels of dopamine and they go way below my baseline. And after a certain period of time, like let's say after like 3 p.m., after 3, 4 p.m., then it's impossible for me to start that task because I don't have the required level of dopamine to start that task. So this is why it's so important that if you have big tasks, right? If you need to do things that you know are hard to start, it can be going to the gym, it could be starting a new project, it can be writing something, it can be reading a book, reading an essay, reading something that's challenging. You will need those level of dopamines to be high. And the only way you can get those level of dopamines to be high is either in the morning when you wake up, your levels are higher because when you sleep, it's like your battery recharges. And the second thing that you can do is things that are hard. So things that are not comfortable right now, like cold shower, cold exposure, cold bath, because when you do them, your dopamine dips below the baseline. And exactly just like when you were playing video games, what goes down must come up. And the exact same things apply. Like when it's up, it comes down. So when you put yourself into a situation that is displeasant, it's not hurtful. You don't want to hurt yourself, but like cold showers, right? When you're in a cold shower, it's not comfortable. It's not pleasant. So your dopamine dips because it's like a way for your brain to say to your body, you know what, I dislike this. Please get us out of here. But if you try to combat this feeling and you actually go for like a minute or two and then your dopamine dips, when you leave that shower, your level will rise up to counterbalance that. The exact same thing applies when you work on something. If you work on a hard project, your dopamine will dip. Why? Because it's not fun. Let's be honest. When you work on something, it's not really fun. But when you finish working on that thing, there's like a reward, right? You finished it. Wow, I feel proud of myself. I did it. It's like I'm good. I'm happy. I'm proud. So what happens? Your dopamine levels go up. So this is the second way. It's if there's something that you need to do that you know is challenging and rewarding if you complete, you do it. And then your dopamine levels will rise after that. And then you can stack those things. So you start with something like, I don't know, simple you need to do. Then you get a bit more dopamine. And then you tackle the next challenging thing. And then you get a bit more dopamine, of course. After a couple of hours, your dopamine levels will be depleted. Like it's physically not possible to work long amount of hours. But you can use that. It's like stacking wins. You can use that. You get a first win, then if you get a first win, you're much more inclined to get a second win. Why? Because you know, right? It's really fun. It's really rewarding. You feel good about yourself. So you will start the next project. But if you want to be able to start those projects, you need to completely eliminate the distractions first. Because otherwise, you start your day and you spike your dopamine so high. What does it tell your brain? It tells your brain and body that I don't need to work hard to get my dopamine levels. I can just go on my phone and get a super huge boost of dopamine. I don't need to work hard. I can get that level instead of working for an hour to get the spikes of dopamine from my hard work. I can just go on my phone and get it in 5 seconds. Why would I waste my time? So think about it. Stop using your phone, stop playing games, stop eating the junk food first thing in the morning. If you want to do it, which I don't advise, but if you want to do it later in the day when you have done all of your work first. Then, you know what? Enjoy. If you want to, enjoy. I would not advise you to do it because it carries over to the next day. But if you want to do it, wait until you've done all of the hard work first. Then go have some fun. But personally, I won't do it. Now go work on yourself.